It's time for Basecamp TV. Yeah! It's time for Basecamp TV. Let's tune in.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to the Basecamp TV kitchen. Today we're talking about self-control, which means making the wise choice even when you don't want to. And when it's the hardest time to exercise self-control? When you're angry. In fact, that's why I'm baking bread today. It's one of my favorite baking activities. As I was saying, the bread's ready now. Delicious! But it's too hot to eat right now, so I exercise a little self-control and let it cool down while I tell you a story. Story mitts, activate! This comes from 1 Samuel 24, and it's about a guy named David. David was the man who loved God and was the one God had chosen to be the next king of Israel. But you know who wasn't happy about that? The current king, King Saul. King Saul was so jealous that he tried to kill David. Ah! David had to leave his home and hide from Saul out in the wilderness. But Saul wouldn't give up. He took 3,000 soldiers with him to hunt down David and his friends.
Come on, boys, let's go.
While Saul was out searching, he needed to use the bathroom.
Need to find the bathroom.
But they didn't have those in the wilderness, so Saul went into a cave to take care of business. What Saul didn't realize was that David was hiding in that cave. David's friends whispered to him, "Saul has treated you so unfairly, and now this is your chance to get revenge." David had every reason to be mad at Saul. What Saul was doing wasn't right. But David didn't let his anger take control. He paused and thought about what God wanted him to do. And then he picked up his knife and cut off a piece of Saul's robe. Saul didn't notice, but as he was leaving the cave, David jumped out and yelled, "My king!" David showed Saul the piece of robe he'd cut as proof that he could have hurt Saul, but chose not to. Saul began to cry. He said,
You did what was right even when I didn't. I know you're the king God has chosen.
Saul returned home and stopped chasing David that very day. Pretty cool, huh? You know, anger isn't a bad thing. It's an emotion that helps us take action and stand up for what's right. It's like an oven fire. Super useful. But you don't want to let it burn out of control. Just like David, it's wise to stay in control of our anger instead of letting our anger control us. Because David had self-control, he was able to pause, decide what was wise, and do it. There's some great strategies we can help us to stay in control of our anger too. We can pause, count to 10, take deep breaths, talk to someone, or maybe find a healthy outlet for all that pent-up energy. And we can ask God for help. After all, God was with David, and he's with us too. God's Spirit gives us the power to use our anger well without being controlled by it. That's good. And that's all we have for you today. See you next time, friends. Happy baking!